This is Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, saying hello to you from today, sunny and warm, western Pennsylvania. It's March 1st, 2023, and today, right now, it's about at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about 67 degrees, which is pretty good for March the 1st, but then this is Wednesday, but then they say, what is it, I think possibly Friday, we may have 1 to 3 inches of snow. So I guess that's March for you. But I'm up here on the hill overlooking, you can see the red shed and the bank barn there, because this is where I have some of my tillage equipment. Down the hill, way down there, you can see my, I guess I'll call it my auxiliary disc, my little 10-foot disc, and my 3-bottom international plow. They're my emergency machines that I use in case my bigger and better stuff breaks down. But I'm really up here to look at 3 different pieces of equipment today. The first is my international model 720 spring trip plow, which I got a few years ago from my buddy Ben whenever I bought my white 2110. This plow has 4 18-inch bottoms, and you saw this plow last year because I featured it in a video where I was changing some of the wear parts on it, and also I think whenever I was getting it ready for being parked out here, I don't have an inside place to put this, so I was getting it ready to be parked outside. I greased it to try to keep water out of the bearings and pivot points, and I also painted the parts that go in the ground, like the coulters and the bottoms themselves. And I think you can see, if you look here, that paint really works, because there's now absolutely no rust on those bottoms or on the coulter, so they're going to go in the ground pretty nice. And that's also, even though it's just a little bit, it's that much less wear, that much less metal that's rusted off and worn away on these bottoms. So that's one of the reasons I do that. I'm really a believer. But in any event, what I'm going to do here in the next couple of minutes is go through and go over all the grease fittings. Like I said, I greased it in the fall before I parked it, but I just want to make sure that no water's found its way into those places. So if I pump in a little additional grease into these fittings, if there is any water in there, it should push it out, and it'll be all lubed and ready to go. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to start plowing here in the next couple of weeks. There probably were some times already in February that there may have been a scattered day here and there where we had 70-degree temperatures, and in a couple cases the fields might have been dry enough for me to plow. But once I hook that plow up, I like to leave it hooked up, and I just hated to do it that early, just maybe for one or part of a day's work. So I kind of held off, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get started in earnest here pretty soon. Once I get this greased, all I'm going to have to do is check the tire air pressure, and the plow is all ready to go. The tractor is already all set to go. It's been serviced, and the fluids, some changed, others just checked, filters changed. It's ready to go. And as I said, this plow should be too. I was just looking before I started the video at some of the wear parts, especially the plowshares or points, and the shins, and the land sides back here, and all that stuff looks really good. I changed this stuff late in the season last year, so they're almost like new, and that means I should be able to plow quite a bit this spring before I have to change them. I will have to change it at some point, because I have, let's see, 48, 68, about 80 acres that I moldboard plow. So you know, these points will definitely wear down, and they'll need to be changed at some point during that process. So I'm going to get busy greasing. I'm not going to video that because that's not very interesting. And whenever I'm done, then we'll go take a look at the next piece of equipment. All right, at this point, we're just around the hill from where we just were. You can see my, or maybe my Westendorf loader there in the distance. And just beyond it is the, you know, my plow that I was just greasing. A couple old hay wagons here. I don't use them anymore. The one on the right, my dad built back in 1976, and it's just been within the last few years, maybe 5-6 years, that I haven't been able to use it anymore because it's just getting too old and soft, and I really just need to dismantle it and save the running gear. And then beside it is a smaller wagon that, again, I haven't used in a few years. It was a much lighter built wagon. The guy actually traded me that wagon for some hay one year. And the wagon itself, again, I need to dismantle it. Probably the best part of it is the running gear. It's actually a New Holland running gear, but it's a hydraulic dump running gear, one that you can hook a hydraulic cylinder up to, and then you could put, you know, ear corn or whatever in there, like in a flatbed wagon, and you could raise it up and dump it out of the back. Okay, so, oh, and also here are my current hay wagons that I use. I keep them out here in this same area, but the reason that I'm here is because the next item I'm going to work on is my disc. Now, I believe you saw this one last year in a video or two also whenever I was disking, but this is a Kraus 15-foot disc. I really like this disc. It's really heavy built, and it's a rock flex disc, which I also like. I bought this disc about 5 or 6 years ago, shortly after I bought the white, because when I bought it, that was the whole idea, was to get a bigger tractor so I could use bigger tillage equipment, and I had just had a 10-foot disc, so I bought this 15-footer for the white. And I bought it about 2 hours away from here in the same general area where I bought the Oliver 66 last summer. And because it was so far away, and I was going to be, you know, traveling on interstates and so on, you know, people told me, oh, you should have just hooked it up behind a truck and pulled it home. Well, no, I wasn't going to do anything like that and worry about it the whole way. So what we did was we took the 4 gangs completely off, and also took off, you can see I have dual wheels, took off the outside wheel on each side, and then we took 2 trailers down to pick it up, my brother-in-law and I, so that we put the gangs on my trailer, and then with just the inside wheels in place, the frame fit right up on his trailer in between the wheel wells, and just made it so we didn't hang over any on either side. So that made it a lot more convenient, and to me a lot less worry-free to haul. But like I said, it's a good sturdy heavy disc, and I really like it, and I think it was a great purchase there a couple years ago. But what I'm going to do now is same thing I just did to the disc. I greased this also before I parked it, but I'm going to pump a little more into the bearings right now just to make sure that everything is good. And then it'll be ready to go whenever I need it to. So we'll be back. All right, well, the plow and the disc are all done and pretty much ready to go, except for checking the air in the tires. And now I'm turning my attention to the last piece of tillage equipment, which is my harrow. Now, I hope nobody's going to laugh at this harrow because of what it is, because this harrow does work for me. It's a 12-foot International Harvester harrow, that a spring tooth harrow that I bought, I don't know, probably 25, almost 30 years ago. But it works for me. It's, you know, the 12 foot is a good width. I know everybody now has the big transport harrows for those that still use harrows, but I don't really need that because all my land that I farm is is right here on this farm, so I don't have to transport it over a public road, just out my dirt roads. So I really, for what I'm doing, really don't need wheels, and this harrow works just fine. Years ago, it was starting to wear down, so I put these, you know, basically they're like, I guess you call them cultivator shovels, you know, on. And about 2 years ago, I had to flip them because they were getting worn on one side. So I still have, as you can see, probably a couple years of wear on them yet before I'm going to have to get all new ones again. But now this harrow works good. Now, there are no grease fittings on it as far as maintenance goes, but the thing that I need to check, I don't know how well you can see it, but there are 4 slides or runners on this harrow, and basically the runner's a piece of angle iron, and then it has a flat strip of metal underneath that runs the length of it, you know, sort of like the, you know, the wear part. And I know last year I changed the 2 inside ones. For some reason they seem to wear out a little quicker, and so now as I look at it, the side ones need to be changed, this one and this one over here. And I happen to have 2 of those pieces of flat strips, 1/4 inch thick, that I try to keep them on hand just for this reason. So I'm going to get those, get the old ones off, and get these you know, measured and cut off and drilled and bolted on there, and then this thing should be ready to go. Okay, so we'll see you in a bit. All right, it's I don't know, hour and a half later, and I got these metal strips on. I'll show you this side. You can see, you know, right over here, the edge of it underneath, and you can see that there are 4 new bolts, you know, going up through it. So I got this side and the other side on the other end done. The middle I had done last year. So this harrow should be all set and ready to go. So that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting the like button and leaving me a comment or asking a question. Please subscribe if you already haven't, and if you have, I appreciate that very much. So this is Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, saying see you next time.